a chilly day here in Florida. I mean, it's like sock weather. No flip-flops today. I actually put my sneakers on. And I just got back from a walk with this big guy, Rocco.
Look at you now, you're alive.
Today, the podcast I was listening to was all about choice and change. And if you're not making a change, you're still choosing, right? Because you're choosing to stay where you are. When you want to do something more in life, when you want to get out of that rut and stop being stuck where you are, it's a commitment. And the thing that's difficult about that is that it's a long-term commitment. It's not something you're going to do because it's Tuesday. It's something that you have to remember over and over again to commit yourself to. For instance, I decided that I was a little too fluffy for my own good, and I wanted to commit to healthier pursuits. So just before Christmas, because that's the ideal time to do that, I started eating really well. Cut all sugars, cut all processed foods. Lost, I don't know, not a huge amount of weight, but about 3 or 4 pounds, something where I was starting to feel it. And I felt really good about where I was. And if you've ever tried to lose weight, you know the end of this story. You know where it's headed. It's headed to Christmas time, and it's headed to the season of goodies and deliciousness. And I am a big sugar addict. So all I need is that one taste to irreparably damage the commitment I had made to my own personal health. Sad but true. So ever since Christmas, I gave myself some grace and allowed myself to indulge. But I only did that because this is my world right here. This big giant creature. But before I gave myself some grace, I need to back up and tell you the real story. So I prepared a nice meal. I was the chef for Christmas dinner. I believe it was even Christmas Eve. I didn't make it to Christmas dinner. But we sit down for a lovely meal together, the whole family. And I'm mid-bite on this very delicious dinner roll. We're having nice conversation, we're catching up, and it suddenly occurs to me, I'm not supposed to be eating bread. And when I say I was mid-bite in a dinner roll, I mean I was probably 2 or 3 deep, let's be honest. And it occurred to me right then, what's this doing in my mouth? I've had 5 or 6 weeks where I have not eaten stuff like this. I was on autopilot. I wasn't thinking. And that's the hard part when you commit to change in your life. If you're not constantly thinking about your goals and what you want, then you are going to fall back into what you know. And what my mouth knows in this situation is, I like dinner rolls. When you are trying to change your life, you are constantly committing to that change. And it's indefinite, really. I mean, I suppose that if I had gotten to my goal weight, I could ease up a little bit. But ultimately, if I eased up too much, I'd be right back to where I was before I lost all the weight. So it's something that you need to think about if you want to make big changes in your life. If you're going for some ultimate goal that you have, whether that's writing a book or creating an artwork or finding a new job or entering the workforce after years and years of being gone, if you are in your second act and you've decided what it is that you want from life, you're committing to that. You're committing to that more than the 6 weeks it takes you to lose the weight, or more than the 6 months it takes you to write the book, or more than the 4 months it takes you to build biceps that are absolutely to die for, right? Whatever it is that you want in life, you're committing to that, because if you're not fully committed to it, you'll end up with a mouthful of dinner roll like I did. If you don't keep your eye on that prize all the time and think about it all the time, you're going to fall back into that rut, because that's what you know. That's what's comfortable. So anyway, If you're like me and you're on a journey to your best self, to a second act that's worthy of a standing ovation, then you need to commit to that. And you may lose people along the way. And it's not a nasty thing. It's necessary for what you want to do. For instance, my grandmother passed away many years ago, but let's say she's still living. She's by far the best cook on the planet. She made a tomato gravy that was just indescribable. And her meatballs, I have yet, and I've tasted a lot of meatballs in my life, I have yet to find a meatball that even comes close to hers. Haven't been able to do it. I've dined at some wonderful gourmet restaurants. I've gone to people's homes who have made meatballs, not the same as my grandmother's. And of course, we don't have a recipe because she just did it on the fly, right? But the reason I'm telling you this story about my grandmother's meatballs and amazing tomato gravy is because if I want to get healthier and I want to lose weight, I'm not going to hire my grandmother as my personal trainer. Like, of course not. Your grandmother's not a personal trainer, right? But I also couldn't be around her constantly. I could call her on the phone. I could go visit when it's not mealtime, but I couldn't make it a point to go have dinner with her all the time because I don't have that kind of willpower. I can't say no, or I couldn't say no, to my grandmother's cooking. I could go in there after just having eaten at a giant buffet, and she'd be like, "You're too skinny. You need to eat. Here, I'm just going to make you some pastine." And before I knew it, I had pastine in my mouth, whether I wanted to or not. I couldn't say no to her because not only is she my grandmother and I loved her, and she shows love for people through cooking, she makes amazing food, or she made amazing food. So if I were trying to lose weight and cut carbs, I can't spend a lot of mealtime at my grandmother's house. And the same is true for you with the changes that you want to make in your life. Think about the people you surround yourself with. Are they supportive of what you want to do? If you want to write a book, are your friends supportive of you having that alone time it takes to actually get the pages done? If your friends are always go, 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 let's go to this party, let's go out, let's do this, let's do that, it's really hard to stay in social contact with them while you're trying to get this book done. So if you're going to commit to this change in your life, if you're going to commit to this goal that you want to pursue, you're going to have to bypass some relationships. Maybe only temporarily. I'm not saying, I would disown my grandmother for the rest of my life just because I wanted to be bikini ready. Those days are long gone. But you have to recognize who are your cheerleaders and who are your detractors for what it is you're trying to accomplish. What do you think? Do you have the willpower that you can keep people who detract you from your goals in your life? Let me know.